morning and welcome back. We're Nicky and Kevin of Packing Our Trunks. We live in our camper van, Nellie. We've been living in Nellie since March 2023. We're currently in Spain. And yeah, we're recording today, which is actually Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas.
Belated Merry Christmas. We're having a question and answer day on Christmas Day, a Q&A day. So we've been asking questions on social media and on YouTube, asking 4 questions. And quite a few of you have responded. So we're going to spend the day answering a few of them for you, aren't we?
Yeah. Yes, ready.
Go. So our first question comes from Gwen in real life, not on the internet. Gwen and Tony hosted us when we were in Wales. We stayed on their gravel outside their house, didn't we? They were very kind and they fed us.
Yeah, they made us so welcome. Thank you, Gwen and Tony.
Yeah, thank you guys. And we'd never met them before, so thank you so much. But she had a question for us, and it was this: what happens if you have an argument? We don't have arguments.
No, we don't actually. We tend to get on pretty well actually. Yeah. We do bristle, I have to say, even though you don't sort of agree with that. I think we do bristle.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. So, and we recognise that when we're really hungry, when we're really tired, we can bristle with each other.
Yeah, hungry, definitely.
Yeah, but I think we kind of recognise when the other one's feeling a bit agitated or a bit frustrated or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, you can go off for a run, I can go off on the bike.
Yeah, you play your piano, put my headphones on.
Yeah, I go and sit in the back of the van on an evening and Kevin puts his headphones in. So it kind
we're
of
absolutely
works,
fine. And we've been together 10 years, best part of.
Yeah.
And we've been like that.
Yeah.
Before we lived in the van as well. So you're all right, Gwen.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Before we ask any more questions, I brought a horrendous cold to Europe with us, and Nicky now has it, don't you?
Yeah, so you'll have to excuse me. I was just
not.
Yeah, I'm a bit snotty. I've not been feeling my best the last few days, I have to say.
Right, the second question we've got is actually quite apt, as we're leaving for a walk from the beautiful area we're staying in, with the owners of which have just been down to wish us a happy Christmas, given us a Christmas card and a little Christmas decoration to hang in the back.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So sweet. And so the question comes from Elisa C89 on Instagram. Hello, Elisa. And she asks, how does it feel leaving loved ones, friends and family for such long periods of time? This is probably the most difficult question we've got.
Yeah.
Pretty horrible.
Yeah. So
we're grandparents.
It's and especially today. I mean, it's Christmas Day. Feeling a little bit under the weather as well, and it's like, it's hard. Really hard. I miss the grandchildren. I miss my daughters. You know, I miss friends. It is hard.
To have these adventures, you have to make these choices.
Yeah, it was one of the most gut-wrenching things, I think, about van life. If there's any negatives, I would say that's a negative.
Or any sort of full-time travel where you're going to be away for long periods of time. Yeah, it was also asked by Too Far Hartley on Instagram. They asked the same question about how it feels leaving family, and the answer is hard. It's hard.
Really hard. And I think the other thing for me is I find, because we haven't got a home to go back to now, although we've got a hometown and we've got daughters and the grandchildren, we're going to stay with them, not to have a sort of a base anymore, other than the van. That's hard as well, isn't it? So it's like, you know, if people want to come, you know, if we want to see people, we've got to go to them. Although people do visit us in the van, don't they?
They do, obviously. But yeah, I think that it's a great question, and I think it's one that doesn't get addressed much when you look at YouTube channels. So Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're considering full-time van life, it will wrench you when you.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say mwah, mwah, to the
Yeah.
girls
Love
and
you all.
mwah, mwah, to the grandchildren.
Yeah.
Love you all,
You
and I
will.
miss you. Really miss
And
you.
mum and dad.
And mum and dad, yeah.
And the next set of questions, just ask one of them. No, I'll ask both of them. She asked us a few questions about Ireland. Now,
Who did?
Louise Creed, 1248 on YouTube. Hi, Louise.
Hi, Louise.
Always likes our videos and comments. So
Yeah.
thank you, Louise. It's great to have you along. So you asked a few questions about Ireland, which we've sort of précéded a bit, because we're not there now, as you've seen. So sort of how long were we in Ireland?
8 weeks and 1 day. Yeah.
And beyond that, what are our future van life plans?
Oh, wow. We're,
So
we're actually, we're in Spain.
We're down through Spain, and then we intend to get a ferry to Morocco. We've got a green card for 3 months, I think.
About 3 months, yeah.
In Morocco, so we will spend some time in Morocco. Then we'll drive back, and we've got a feeling we might just drive back to Spain because we're loving the mountains so much.
Yeah, and there's a mountain range, isn't there? Sort of Malaga, is Grenada? Did you say
Grenada,
it?
yeah.
Grenada.
Yeah.
Grenada.
So yeah. So we think that, and we think that we change our plans by the hour. So, but we think we might park Nellie up somewhere, a campsite or airport parking, and fly on to a little adventure before we fly back, and then head north back towards the UK. So then we will have done a total of 6 months out of the UK, of which only 90 days can be in the Schengen region countries, which Morocco isn't one. So there's a few dogs barking down there.
Yeah, I can't work out whether it's
No.
dogs or a crowd
I know,
down
there was
there.
music playing there
Yeah.
earlier. It is Christmas Day, so...
Yeah, and it is lunchtime. Yeah.
So we are on the Mirador, which we think means shelf or balcony, of the Sierra de Montanches, which is the range of mountains we're in, and the town of Montanches behind us. So your other question, Louise, is, it was related to Ireland, but actually it's a relevant question. Do we intend to try out surfing?
Yeah, I think sort of looking at Morocco, sort of as we come down the west coast, I think there's plenty of opportunities there to have a go at surfing.
I think there is.
Something neither of us have done
Yeah.
before, isn't it?
I know.
So yeah, I think we might have a go down there. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think it'll be warmer than the locations you suggested.
Yeah, an
That's
island.
at the north of the Wild Atlantic Way, yeah. Anyway, thank you very
Thank
much for
you
your questions. Should we walk?
Yeah, come on.
The next question is from Joe Rose 6093. Thank you, Joe, on YouTube. Always comments. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
She asks, how much, roughly, does van life cost per month or year? That's your department.
Yeah, so I keep a record of all the finances. I do it on a daily basis. When we set off travelling, we set ourselves a budget of £70 a day. Obviously, everybody's
That's our top.
limit a day. Obviously, everybody's budget is very different, and everybody's way of travelling is very different. But for us, we thought that was a reasonable budget. So that doesn't include van insurance, maintenance on the van tax. But what it does include, it includes all our daily expenses, such as campsites, parking, shopping, entertainment, LPG, diesel. I think I've got a little miscellaneous one as well, laundry, and there's another category in there which I can't remember. Eating out, which we don't do a lot of. But we find that, or certainly when we were in the UK for the 6 months, we were the top end of the budget, because obviously the campsites, we were paying for campsites, while camping, free parking isn't as popular in the UK as it is certainly in Ireland, and certainly over here as well. But in Ireland we managed to, it worked out for the 8 weeks and 1 day, actually £46 per day.
Yeah.
So we were well under budget,
Yeah.
and we're hoping that the same thing is going to happen in Spain.
Yeah,
That,
it certainly has so far.
Yeah. I mean, the first week was a bit mad, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Sort of finding our feet. But I think, we travel quite simply when we're on the road, don't we? It's only
Yeah.
when we're in the UK that it starts to become really expensive. And what we're hoping is that sort of what we save over the coming 6 months will actually then pay for the ferry back, any repairs on the van, the MOT and whatever. And that figure doesn't include sort of clothing, haircuts, trainers. But that's our...
And if anyone's considering it, work out an upper budget that is the limit of what you can afford. Don't try and wing it. Have that set before you go. That would be our tip with that.
And also, you know, very fortunate we worked hard to sort of put ourselves in this position that we can travel full time, but we've also got a pot of savings as well, that, you know, if anything goes wrong, you know, for argument's sake, so we were to have an accident or whatever and the van was off the road, I mean, obviously that's our home, you know, there is money for, you know, a hotel and whatever, or flights home, or you know, someone's ill or whatever.
But if we use that money for day-to-day living, it'll be a short-term project.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing as well that I haven't included in the budget, £70 a day, is also health insurance, or travel insurance. So we've got 6 months travel insurance, but that's not included. So I hope that's answered the question.
Comprehensively covers it. It's a how long is a piece of string, but that's roughly where we're at. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
So on YouTube, the Viga Feeling asked us what are our 3 favourite places in Ireland.
So Beara Peninsula.
Beara Peninsula,
Dursey Island.
Beautiful, Achill Island.
Achill Island,
which was Slieve Moor and Mountain and all the beaches.
Keene Beach, Keene Beach, and Guggainbarra. That was it. That was beautiful.
National Park with the mountain hiking, the beautiful village and the church on the lake, on the island on the lake. They were beautiful. So I'd say we covered last week all our favourite stuff in Ireland, but those I think are 3 favourite places. Just watching my footing here. Look where we are.
It's beautiful.
So we got another island, very specific island question. Alice Thompson on Facebook, thank you Alice, says, do we intend to, if we go back to Ireland, revisit the 2 mountains of Carratoon, the highest peak in Ireland, and Crowpatrick, also a famous climb? The answer is
yes, absolutely, definitely. It's on the list.
Yes. The weather was against us.
And time as well. Just didn't quite fit in the weather.
Crowpatrick particularly. We ummed and ahed about driving all the way back to it at one point, didn't we? They both look like beautiful mountains, worth hiking.
Definitely.
But the answer to your question, Alice, is yes, we will.
And thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you, Alice. And somebody else who supports us every week leaves comments, don't they?
Yeah, thank you.
That's Jimmy at 270 Jimmy. Is his handle, but it's Jimmy and Anne-Marie, we found out. We've got a lovely Christmas message, so happy Christmas belatedly to you two too. And Jimmy asks, what do we think we will finally do when we stop our adventures in Nellie?
We're not sure, are we?
We're really not sure, no.
And everywhere we go, we think, oh, could we live here?
Could we live here? Could we live here?
No, we're not sure, are we?
We really don't know. And I think we decided when a couple of people sort of said, what will you do if? Well, I think if happens, we'll deal with it and do something different.
I mean, home is for me. It is still Devon.
It's still Devon, That's our home. Although we don't have a home there, unless we park our home there, which we did for a couple of weeks recently.
But that's still home. That's where family and friends are. So.
But we don't know.
We don't know.
We really don't know. I mean, it might.
But thank you for asking.
Yeah, great question, Jimmy. And it is something we do think about, but not too much. Good morning.
Morning.
We don't do Christmas presents, but we got our new vegan runners vests on. So we're carrying on with this question and answer because our beloved camera, when we went to edit those questions last night, hadn't recorded sound on quite a few of them, I'm afraid. So here we are the next day.
Yeah. Here we go again. Yeah.
In the beautiful Sierra de Montanches out for a run.
If you turn around, we've got the castle behind.
So
we're doing a question a mile, aren't we?
Mile, so we've done 1 mile. So this is Brett, who is Paralysed Pirate on Instagram, who is a fellow wild swimmer, a great supporter of the channel, and become a really good friend. So hi Brett, thanks for your amazing long list of questions, which we answered yesterday, but you wouldn't be able to hear that. So we got some item related questions. What item do we travel with that we wouldn't be without?
Kettle for me.
Kettle, good one. I'm going walking boots.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Brett. We'll ask you another question a mile down the road. So we come down into the low cloud, haven't we?
Yes.
There are so many trails here, just so many trails. We could stay here for a month.
I know. It's cold down here though, isn't it?
It is cold, yeah.
Yeah, really cold.
Anyway, Brett also asks about items we travel with. What item do we travel with that we wish we'd never bought?
Oh, yeah. It's got to be the barbecue point that we've never used.
That we paid to have installed. And we never used.
Yeah.
And also we installed a reversing camera, which once the bikes are on the back, all you can see is the bike cover.
Yeah.
So we wish we hadn't paid for them, Brett. Ready?
Okay.
So Brett asked us, we've asked 2 questions, haven't we? Yeah, so his third question is, what item do we not travel with, but we'd love to, but is too expensive?
Oh, for me it's got to be a massive, big jackery to power my hairdryer.
Yeah, power bank,
I'd love one of those.
Yes, they're not cheap. I think...
it doesn't have to be that massive, just as long as it powers my hairdryer.
It can power the hairdryer, yeah. I think for me, it would have to be, and this week has really shown it, a drone.
Yeah.
To add to some of the footage we get, really put some context to the places we're in. So yeah, I think a drone and a power bank to charge it up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Right, let's go.
Well, it's the first time we've got wet, isn't it?
Yeah, wet grass down there. Long grass, but it's not so overgrown here. Pretty cloudy, pretty cold.
Pretty cold, yeah.
So continuing with Brett's questions about items. He asked, what item do we carry that we never use, but we're glad we've got?
Well, the item that comes to mind for me, although we've used it once on a friend's van, is the jump leads. They're under the bed.
Yeah,
so they're out of the way, aren't they? Yeah. So, what about you?
I think our safety kit, we got a fire extinguisher, a fire blanket, a big first aid kit. We've got a carbon monoxide alarm, smoke alarm, and we hope we never use any of them, don't we?
No.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Right, so, all right.
You can answer this one.
Yeah, you should answer this one because it's a nice one for you. Brett, knowing that we're vegans, asks, what is a vegan food that we don't like so much?
Oh, I think it's got to be just the processed food, the imitation, like chicken fillet, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't buy any of that,
do we?
No, and tend to sort of make everything ourselves. So no, that's the one for me.
Yeah, had one experience while we were back in the UK. We parked outside our daughter's house and we had a fish and chip night. And I ordered a processed, I thought, vegan fillet. And when it came, it was this battered thing. When I cut into it, it just looked like chicken.
Oh, it was, what was
banana
it called?
blossom.
That's it, yeah.
But we Googled it and apparently people do eat it, but I've no idea why. So again, from Too Far Heart, leave us Jules and Paul on Instagram. A couple of questions that the sound didn't come out yesterday. Do we plan to settle somewhere in the future?
Yeah, I think we will do in the future. We're not quite sure where.
No.
Other than Devon is our home. That's where our family are.
That's where our roots are.
Our roots are. Yeah. So I don't know.
Don't know.
But yeah, I think eventually.
Yes,
yeah, eventually we will.
We really don't know.
No.
But thank you for the question. Shall I ask their other one?
Go on then.
Oh, it's a big wide world out there.
Oh.
How do we decide where we want to travel?
Oh, that's quite
Good
difficult.
question.
I have a bucket list.
Yep.
So slowly ticking off the bucket list.
Yeah.
So obviously we're out for 6 months now. We're Spain, Morocco, and back into Spain, and then I think we're going to Turkey as well. So there's a bit of a bucket list in Turkey as
There's
well.
some stuff there.
As in Morocco.
Yep.
And then I think our kind of plan is to sort of carry on travelling in Nellie, but in between also doing some of the bucket list stuff as well.
Agreed, yeah.
So that's kind of how we're planning our travels.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got thoughts now right into 2025 as well.
Yeah, we have got thoughts.
Yeah.
But in the short term, like tomorrow, we might go to Seville.
Yeah. Well, we might not.
We've got our rough guide to Spain.
Yeah.
We've got the internet. We've got other people we've watched on YouTube. We know what we like. We've realised Spain is covered in trails. So actually, we tend to follow the trails.
Yeah, we do. We do. And the odd city here and there is quite nice.
And we've travelled to countries just to do run. We went to South Africa and to Jamaica just to do running events, haven't we? So I hope that answers your questions. Thanks very much for them, Jules and Paul.
Thank you.
A question from Joe Rose, who we have recorded all 3 of your questions, but I think 2 of them didn't record. So you also asked us, do we wish we had done it sooner? And
I think the answer to that is we have actually done it sooner than we planned.
Yeah.
I think we'd always planned to travel, but we were kind of saying, oh, we'll wait till we retire in our 60s. But the events of a family member sort of passing away and
good friend
and it just made us rethink again.
It did, yeah.
But we'd never really intended on buying a camper van.
No.
It was only because once we made our mind up that was it, we were going to travel. Our intention was backpacking, but because we still got our old border terrier,
who we've still got, we didn't anticipate he wouldn't enjoy the van.
No, but actually we've gone on to enjoy the van, even though Charlie doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah, so he's gone to his old dog's home.
Yeah,
living with our daughter.
Yeah, and he's loving life. He's really well
happy,
actually. Yeah, really well. But actually we've gone on to really enjoy van life. So I think we're going to sort of break it up, sort of do quite a bit of van life, but in between go and do, as we said in the previous question, some of those bucket list sort of long haul stuff.
But we'll still be living in Nellie. But so we did do it sooner.
Yeah, we did.
And no, I don't wish. I do think it all leads to this point, doesn't it, life?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
We'll ask your next question in another mile. So Joe also asked, do we feel safe sleeping in Nellie?
Yeah, we do, don't we?
I'd say so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't felt threatened.
And we've sort of pulled up a few places where we thought we're not sure.
Yeah.
And we've always gone with our gut, and if we're not sure, we move on.
Just move, yeah.
And I think the only time I've not felt safe in the van, and that was force of nature, was in that storm Debbie in Ireland.
By that lock, yeah.
That was just
the van
horrendous.
was rocking so badly there.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, Joe, we adapted to it, as we said in an earlier question. We've adapted to it, and
even the kids doing donuts in the car park in Shrewsbury.
Yeah, they weren't there to annoy us. They were just there. Yeah. So no, thankfully we don't, Joe. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
We think that's all the questions. So therefore, at this point, we will jump back to yesterday. Right, we're back from our 8-mile walk.
Yep.
And we're up in the game with this YouTube, and we've remembered to press record this time.
We've just done a whole reel with no sound.
Yeah.
So we'll be really quick now.
Yeah, we did say on there that we promised brevity would be a key aspect of this video, and it definitely hasn't been. We have one last question from Andre and Lisa, who are We Will Nomad on YouTube and their website. We'll put a link in the description. We've been following them since long before we moved into Nellie, haven't we? And very much been part of our inspiration. So hi Andre and Lisa, and thank you for your support, advice, online friendship and ongoing beautiful videos. Head over to YouTube and follow those guys. Their adventures are brilliant in their motorhome around Europe. Anyway, their question is, Name 2 things that have surprised you about your new way of life. One in a good way, one in a bad way. Shall I go first?
Yeah, go on then.
So in a good way, just surprised how quickly this just became our life. We stayed in our hometown mostly for a while with other commitments, but we moved into Nellie and it just became what we do, and I've loved every minute of it. So that was a good, nice surprise. A bad surprise, or I'm only half joking about this, and anyone that lives in a vehicle knows, I was surprised how much we wee. We even Googled it, are we normal? Anyway, I've nothing more to say on that.
Oh, that's quite hard to follow after that, Kev.
Yeah.
So I think what surprised me the most is very much what Kevin said, how we've adapted to it.
Yes.
And it has actually become very normal. I mean, it's even like now we're in Spain, aren't we?
Yep.
And it's like, we've only been here a week, but it's sort of it's just normal, isn't it?
We're
It's
just
just
here,
life, isn't it? You know, we've got a home with us, we've got everything that's in it. And I think the other thing that really surprised me as well is just how little that we need.
Yeah.
That's been a good surprise.
It really is.
In terms of a bad surprise, I've been quite surprised about how travel sick I feel in Nellie. When we're on a long journey, it's not so much the shorter journeys, but the long journeys, we've done a good few hours or a good day in the van. Come the evening, I feel
Quite dicky on you.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, we did about 230 miles to get here. And you were quite...
Yeah, I felt, it's just like I've got that motion sickness. It just carries on in the evening, but the van stopped. Very weird. But anyway, I mean, I can live with that. Yeah.
And if that's our only problem. Anyway, thank you, Andre and Lisa, for those.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody who's sent in questions.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Yeah,
We've
been
enjoyed
really,
doing
really
this.
good. Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's been good fun on Christmas Day, hasn't it?
And if you've stuck this far through the video, fair
Well
play
done.
to you.
Yes. So, I think we'll end that here.
We will.
And if you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Maybe think about subscribing. Tell all your friends. Ring the notification bell. And
leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment.
Leave a comment or any more questions about this life. Just
always
ask.
happy to answer anything.
Follow-up questions.
Yeah, and we shall see you next week when
start our adventures in Spain.
So thank
Till
you for
then.
watching.